Good morning, students. Now we are going to discuss about the fossilization. What do you mean by fossilization? The process of formation of fossil in the rocks is called the fossilization. So 2 marks question, what do you mean by fossilization? The process of formation of fossils in the sedimentary rocks or in the rocks is called the fossilization. There are so many methods of fossilization is there. One by one, there are 4 methods have been discussed. 1, 2, 3, 4, and it is the 5th one. What are the 5 types? No, petrifaction one, second one mold and cast, third one is called the preservation, fourth one compression, sixth one replacement and infiltration. So one by one, first one is called the petrifaction. Petrifaction is a type of fossilization where the minerals like silica slowly penetrate in and replace the organic substances, organic tissues, and form the rock-like fossil. Suppose a wood of a plant had been died and fallen in the soil, and this hard and soft part will be replaced by the minerals like silica. So the wood would become the fossilized form. That form of fossilization is called the petrifaction. Minerals like silica slowly penetrate in and replace the original organic tissue and forms the rock-like fossil. This method of fossilization can preserve hard and soft tissues. Most bones and wood fossils are petrified. One example picture I will show here. Tiruvarkarai, the fossil wood park, Villupuram district, and here this is the log wood, and it looks like the stem, but it is actually petrified form of wood. It is written, see, replaced by silica and was organic matter. In course of time, the organic matter was replaced by silica and fossilized. They retained their color, shape and texture and was converted into solid rocks. The annular rings, texture, color of the layers, nodes, every properties of the plants are still visible. So this is the petrified form of wood. Now second type, it is called the mold and cast. Replica, that means copy of the plant or animal, is preserved in sedimentary rock. When the organism gets buried in sediment, that means in the rock, it is dissolved by underground water, leaving a hollow depression called a mold. And it shows the original shape but does not reveal the internal tissues, internal structure. Minerals or sediments fill the hollow depression and forms the cast. So whenever mold will be there, mold means impression, and that impressed structure, when these different types of minerals will be accumulated, fill the hollow depression, it will form the cast. CA. So mold and cast simultaneously or coincidentally it should go. Now next one is called preservation. Third type. Original remains can be preserved in ice and amber. And nothing will be destroyed. In case of petrifaction, we told that it will be destroyed. In case of cast and mold, organic matter will be replaced. But in case of preservation, if the organism is fallen in ice, it will be not destroyed, because ice is having low temperature, their microorganism cannot affect. Even the amber is nothing but the tree sap. They protect the organism from decay. No decaying of the decomposition will be taking place. The entire plant or animal is preserved as it is condition. So one more question, what type of fossilization the organism will be remaining in as it is condition? It is called the preservation. Now next one, compression. When the organism dies, the hard part of their bodies settle at the bottom of the seabed and covered by sediments. The process of sedimentation goes on continuously and the fossils are formed. That is called by pressure. Compression is nothing but the by pressure. Infiltration or replacement. The precipitation of minerals take place due to so it is a continuation of the compression. Whenever sediments will be accumulated on it, what will be pressure will be there, so the minerals will be infiltrated, so in the cell wall or in the cytoplasm of the animal. The precipitation of minerals take place, which later on infiltrate the cell wall if it is a plant. The process is brought about by several mineral elements. What are the minerals will be accumulated? Maybe silica, maybe calcium carbonate, maybe magnesium carbonate. Hard parts are dissolved and replaced by these minerals. So this is all about a fossilization book back question, 7 marks question. So all the 5 points. Living fossils, do you know? One example is the ginkgo biloba. Is considered as the living fossil. 1 mark question. Ginkgo, Ginkgo, ginkgo biloba. It will come ginkgo, Ginkgo, ginkgo biloba. Now next one, determination of the age of the fossils. Determination of the age of the fossils. The age of the fossils, 2 marks question book back. Age of the fossils is determined by radioactive elements present in it. They may be carbon, uranium, lead or potassium. It is used in paleobotany, that means to find out the age of the plants. And second one is called anthropology. Anthropology. Anthropology is nothing but the age of the human beings. For determining the age of human fossils and manuscripts. Manuscripts are nothing but the written by old people or old, that is called the human being like animal, whatever they have written on stone, these are called the manuscripts. So that is helping. So determination of the age of fossils. Now next part, radiocarbon dating method. This method was discovered, 1 mark question, W.F. Libby. Carbon consumption of animals and plants stops after death, because whenever the organism, both plants and animals will be alive, they will be relieving carbon dioxide. Plants will be taking carbon dioxide. So whenever the plants will be dying, the intake of carbon will be stopped. So carbon consumption of animals and plants stops after death, and since then only the decaying process of C14 radioactive carbon, C14 radioactive carbon occurs continuously. The time passed since death, after the death, how much time has passed can be found out by the amount of C14 which is present in that organism. So the time passed since death of a plant or animal can be calculated by measuring the amount of C14 radioactive carbon present in that plant or animal. That is called the radioactive carbon dating method. Very, very important for 2 marks question. Now next one, we are going to move, that is called small part we will be discussing, which is called ethnobotany. Ethnobotany is nothing but the study of a region's plants. Suppose Chennai plant, and whatever plants are there, what are the uses of these plants? All these things will be discussed in that branch of biology which is called ethnobotany. So ethnobotany is the study of region's plants and their practical uses through the traditional knowledge of the local culture of people. That is called ethnobotany. Plant whatever present in Chennai and their uses, that will be known by the local people. What are the uses of these plants? That is called the ethnobotany. That ethnobotany term was coined by J.W. Hertzberger, 1 mark question, again 1895, to include the study of plants used by the primitive and aboriginal people, local people. Though this discipline has existed for ages, ethnobotany emerged as distinct academic branch. Now it is a very popular branch in 20th century, that means present day. It is a very interesting branch of biology which deals with the presence of plants and their uses. Aspects of ethnobotany. So 2 marks question, 1 mark question. Definition 2 marks, who coined the term. Now ethnobotany has relevance with problems on nutrition, healthcare and life support system. Faith in plants. cottage industries. All these one by one point we'll be discussing. That is again book back question. Importance of ethnobotany. It provides traditional uses of plant. Number 2, it gives information about the certain unknown and known plants, useful plants. The ethnobotanical data will serve as a useful source of information for chemists for preparing chemicals, pharmacologists for medicine purpose. Pharmacologists means person who is specialized in medicine, and practitioners of herbal medicine. That means Ayurveda, Siddha, all these are there. That is also ethnobotany plays an important role. And fourth point is tribal communities utilize ethnobotanical plants for plant parts like barks, roots, stem, leaves for different purposes. Flowers, fruit, seeds, oils, resins. Resins are nothing but the sticky substance, cell sap. Dyes, gum. Dyes means color. Gum for the treatment of diseases like diarrhea. These are the parts tribal communities will be using for curing different diseases. What are the diseases? Diarrhea, fever, headache, diabetes, jaundice, snake bites, and leprosy. These are the diseases the plant parts will be used, and that one will be known by the tribal communities. Till here. Okay, thank you, children.